Welcome to Oracle Tech Talks TV podcast with Kashif Manzoor in 10th session.
Welcome to the OTech Talks podcast, where it's all about working on Oracle technologies. You will hear the latest Oracle tech information, and your host, Kashif Manzoor, brings together product overviews, how-tos, best practices, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting techniques.
Today our session is 10th and we are going to review basic concept of Oracle Financials part of Oracle E-Business Suite. Oracle E-Business Suite is a complete set of business applications with different components to cover different business aspects, operations that enables companies to cater detailed business transactions data which will enable for decision making. Oracle Financials help you to meet obligations in key areas, for example, compliance, financials control, regulatory reporting, and cost containment and risk management. The Oracle Financials part of ERP is comprised of following subfamilies organized by standard business flows to support your firm's financial processes. Financials reporting and control, corporate performance management, corporate governance, credit to cash, procure to pay, assets, real estate, and lease management, cash and treasury management, travel and expense management. So these are the, we can say, 8 different areas where we are using Oracle Financials modules. Oracle Financial Applications being a subset of ERP to cover all aspects of financial process for any company or an organization is comprises of mainly 5 modules. Those are Oracle General Ledger, Oracle Payables, Oracle Receivables, Cash Management, and Fixed Assets. So these are 5 modules who are part of Oracle E-Business Suite Financial family. We can use Oracle E-Business Suite in a variety of organizational constructs to capture corporate structures that exists in our real world and also can be implemented in multiple ways to reflect our actual organizations, the way we are operating or using different companies in any geography or any location. So few of the key concepts for beginners which we are going to discuss as a part of this podcast. What is the basic concept of Oracle Financials, which we already reviewed it, that it's a part of for any organization to review and manage and their day-to-day operations of the financials or accounting departments. What is the basic concepts behind legal organization, how legal organization is important, and what is going to be done in the e-business suite, how we will represent our organization in financials, what is the concept of business group and department, what is government reporting and legal entity role, definition of legal entity, concept of establishment in Oracle Financials. So what is named as establishment, what is the concept, ledgers and sub-ledgers, operating unit, inventory organizations, chart of accounts, cost center, balancing segment, natural account, multiple ledgers, sub-ledgers, and sub-ledger accounting and operating units. So these are different topics which we are going to review today. We will try to complete in this session if it's possible. If it's going to be a long session, then we may distribute this session into 2 parts. So let's review what is the concept behind legal organization. Legal organization gives ability to buy and sell, own and employ. And this comes from the charter written or finalized in the legal system of any country. Generally, we will find different types of organizations in any of country. For example, commercial groups exist through corporate law of the region. So one type of the organization is commercial groups. Those are made through corporate law of the region. And a group can have a different units, and these are within the legal structure of a group. Can be individual companies that share common ownership and control. So group, and within the group there could be a different units. There's another type, it's a public group. A company is owned by the public through shares sold on stock market. There are another type that's a private group. They are held by privately held holding companies or any individuals. In other organizations, the legal entities are partnership, funds, or government agencies. So these are 5 different types of legal organizations we can find in any of the country. So what we can say, a legal recognized entity, organization, or a company can own and trade assets and employ people. And entity, organization, or company that don't have legal recognition, they cannot own and trade assets. While being a legal entity in any country also puts some responsibilities to account for themselves to the public. For example, statutory reporting and external reporting requirement, and comply with the legislation and regulations of the country that enable them or that enforce them that pay income or profit on different transactions which they are making out. And legal entities establish your identity under the law of each region where we are operating and provide vehicles for contractual relationship for compliance and taxation. So, to summarize this, legal organization is a body to buy and sell, own, or employ, and that is relevant to any of the country, and similarly which we need to build in Oracle Financials applications. Now, each legal organization can have a different business divisions. We usually segregate different business into divisions within any legal entity to manage and reward or assign management personnel to each division. Same way we usually build functional organizations around people and their competencies, like sales force, operations, manufacturing plants, researchers, or finance, human resource management, information technology, and management. The income statement often reflects their efforts and expenses directly. Organizations must manage and report revenues, cost of sales, and functional expenses, such as if they are doing any research and development, or selling, or any administrative expenses. So each organization will also follow compliance and disclosure requirements based on any of the country. Many companies' status requires the legal entities created in compliance with them, public specific and periodic disclosures, and these is usually reporting a regulatory reporting requirement are with the Securities and Exchange Commissions of different countries. So here we are concluding the basic concept behind legal entity. Now, how we will represent our organization in application like in financials. Financial system organization entities and the chart of accounts are the cornerstone for securing transactions and modeling an enterprise in Oracle E-Business Suite. For defining any organizations, so 2 are the basic concept behind that. Those are organization entities and the chart of accounts. How we will represent your organization in financials. Oracle Financials organization entities and the chart of accounts are the cornerstone for securing transactions and modeling an enterprise in Oracle E-Business Suite. These 2 are the key pillar of financials, system organization entities, and the chart of accounts. E-Business Suite, a system organization entity, might represent any real organization unit within a business. Depending on their classification, system entities deliver specific features and controls, such as access control and a shared service administration, policy, legal, or any compliance administration. Chart of accounts representation of a real world entity is an identifier for analysis and accounting, with fewer features and control associated with it. Important entities such as cost center and legal entity can be represented by both a system entity and a value in chart of accounts section. Oracle E-Business Suite includes the important system and important system entities, business group, and department. The business group is an organization that is set up and configured in Oracle Human Resources. This is very important for configuration of Oracle E-Business Suite financials. We need to configure business group and department, especially the business group. So we need to understand what is business group. A business group is the highest level of organization and the largest grouping of employees across which you may report. The business group is partitioned into separate files of human resources information and is used to administer human resources payroll and benefits for employees. In financials, we're not going to use the payroll if you're not implementing it, but we will be creating a business group. A business group is often related to a country specific legislation. It may correspond to your entire enterprise or to a major grouping such as subsidiary or operating division. One business group is needed for each major employment. These jurisdictions roughly correspond to nations. Government reporting legal entity. Employees are employed by the system entity called Government Reporting Legal Entity or GRLE, which represent the employer in the human resources management system. Employees are assigned to departments. A GRLE can represent a registered company or other registered legal entity. GRLE are a particular type of system legal entity and serve to connect your employees with the appropriate company or other entity in the legal world. What is legal entity? A legal entity in the Oracle Financials application matches closely equal to legal entity or a company in the real world or a legal world or in our region. You can store information about a registered company or other real world legal entity in a legal entity. So the way we create legal entity in our real world, the same way we will create a legal entity in Oracle Financials. For example, you can store the registered address and director or officer names. The legal entity administrators transactions level rules in compliance with the geography laws. A real-world legal entity is a discrete legal personnel. A system legal entity is the transactor and taxpayer for each third-party transaction. It holds tax registration data such as identification numbers, and individual legal entity can have exposure to several different tax authorities. What is ledger? A fundamental concept in Oracle application is the ledger. This is a basic. And every new beginner who is starting a career in Oracle Financials, he need to understand that what is ledger. The ledger represents an accounting representation for an organization that is accountable in a self-contained way. A ledger owner might be a legal entity, a group of companies in a common legal environment, or a substantial operation within a legal entity, but the legal entity attributes or a foreign branch. Ledgers are also used to consolidate and manage reporting. In a pure implementation, a legal entity accounts for itself in a ledger. A ledger provides balanced ledger accounting for the accounting entity and serves as the repository of financial information. Consequently, it is the principal source of information for the analytical application in the Oracle Business Suite. Ledger balances have meaning, and they asserts that the balance on account at a given date has a specific value in a particular currency and it's properly calculated. This implies a consistent application for what we sometimes call the 4 C's: chart of accounts, COA, calendar, currency, and accounting convention. The chart of account provides the account, calendar the date, currency the amount, and convention the calculation. What is operating unit? What is the concept behind operating unit? In the financials applications of Oracle E-Business Suite, an operating unit is a system organization that do 5 following tasks. Number 1, stores subledger data separately from the data associated with other operating units that support a particular ledger or partitions. 2, administers subledger rules such as those associated with transactions types, sequence schemas, and other sales tax or other any regulations. 3, manage user access to the data for processing and reporting. 4, is not product specific and automatically links all subledgers products that post to a specific ledger. 5, applies to subledger business transactions and document data and associated data such as customer details. Subledger accounting data is not tagged with OU identification unless you elect to do so. General ledger data is not managed through operating units. The real-world legal entities compliance obligations are managed by operating unit on subledger transactions and ledger for balancing, closing, and reporting rules. System legal entities, ledgers, and OUs are defined in relationship to one another. A legal entity accounts for itself in the primary ledger and optionally in other ledgers and stores its subledgers data in one or more operating units. What is inventory organization? The inventory organization represents an organization for which you track inventory transactions and balances. These organizations might be manufacturing or distribution centers. Several modules and functions in the Oracle manufacturing and supply chain management suite secure information by inventory organization. Inventory organizations are associated with operating unit. Each inventory organization has a parent operating unit and can serve other operating units. So to summarize it, inventory organization is which track inventory of transactions and balances of the inventory. Chart of accounts, very basic concept, one of the basic concept of a legal entity. Chart of accounts. A chart of accounts is a financial organizational tool that provides a complete listing of every account in an accounting system. An account is a unique record for each type of assets, liability, equity, revenue, and expense. Chart of accounts is used to record transactions in a company's general ledger. As part of the accounting cycle, the chart of account is used in the journaling process, performing journal entries, and also serve as the title for each ledger. In general, usually, all accounts are filled under one of 5 categories: assets, liabilities, equity, revenue, and expenses. Each company can use its own chart of account numbering system and can assign a number of identification purposes. The chart of accounts is a flexible combination of segment structures. You use these segments to flag transactions so that they are summarized in a meaningful way to your business. The chart is referred to as a flex fields, which is the underlying technology. This is a very basic concept in financials, and whoever is going to start career in Oracle Financials, you need to understand what is the basic concept behind chart of accounts. A specific chart of accounts completes with values is associated with each ledger, and the same chart can be associated with many ledgers. We specify only 3 segments: natural account, balancing segment, and cost center. I know you're not aware about these. What is natural account, balancing segment, and cost center? We will shortly review the basic definition behind these 3 things. So what is chart of accounts? Cost center. A cost center is one of the accounting flex field components in Oracle General Ledger, which is part of Oracle Financials module in Oracle E-Business Suite. Cost center is a focal point for department's expenses. You might use the cost center to track the finance department in case where labor is the most important elements of expense. Cost centers in your chart of accounts and the HR department discussed earlier will refer to the same business units in the real world. What is balancing segment? A balancing segment is a segment of the chart of account that forces balancing, meaning that the ledger will calculate a receivable and payables between balancing segment for any entry that crosses them. Balancing segment ledgers balance, that is the sum of the debit and credit balances, equal each other, and you can prepare an income statement and balance sheet from them. Oracle Financials checks that imported data, subledger posting, and journal entries, adjustments, balances in order to maintain this integrity. Ledgers in a ledger set also balance and are also used for financial reporting. So that's why within a ledger, we can nominate a segment of your chart of accounts to be a balancing segment. The balancing segment values that we assign in that segment will represent entities in your organization for which you want to measure both income and wealth, to prepare income statements and balance sheets, and to measure return on investments. That's also one of the key area. That's a balancing segment. Natural account, a segment that indicates your natural account, such as cash, accounts payable, or salary expenses. For many companies, natural account also has an organizational impact. Companies deploy the natural account in different ways. Some start at the top with their external reporting lines, for example, cash revenue, expand the list of include their management reporting lines, different type of revenues, and then expand further to level of whatever they want or they wish. Others starts at the bottom with detailed departmental expenditure types. Ledger sets. So what is ledger sets? Ledgers can be grouped into ledger sets. A ledger sets is a collection of ledgers that you wish to manage as they were one ledger. Manage includes reporting, opening and closing, running calculations, and entries. Ledger sets allows you to group multiple ledgers together to achieve processing efficiency. For example, you can open or close periods for multiple ledgers simultaneously, translate balances for all ledgers in ledger set, run recurring journals. So different type of things you can do by ledger sets. Ledgers and subledgers. Oracle Financial reflects the traditional segregation between the general ledger and associated subledgers like payable or receivable. Another key concept is subledger accounting and operating units. Accounting for all transactions uses subledger accounting architecture, which is an enhancement of the standard accounting process and contains changes to the overall process flows, user interfaces, and some programs. This was introduced in Oracle Release 12. Subledger architectures delivers many benefits, and it lets us customize the way accounting is performed in a specific event. You can use accounts derived from the custom business logic based on data provided by the application. So SL is a common rule-based accounting engine used by Oracle products that post accounting entries into Oracle General Ledger. Rules are user-defined and reside in a common repository for all subledger applications such as Oracle Cash Management. The SLA accounting engine is also a common engine for all subledger applications and provides you with a single common paradigm for defining your accounting behaviors. Subledger transactions rules are managed by operating unit, but subledger accounting rules are not operating unit dependent. Operating unit stores transaction types and rules that govern the transaction documents such as invoices and other business rules. With this, we are done with our session number 10. Thank you very much for listening. And we have achieved our first milestone by completing 10th session. To get the more information on this session or the show notes, you need to go to www.otechtalks.tv/session 10, session 10, and you will find out more information. And I will also put all the reference from where this information is taken. And my suggestion to you as a new beginner on Oracle Financials, that you go and take review of all the basic concepts behind what is legal entity, how we are using it, what is business group, how we are defining it, what is the concept of ledger, ledgers, operating unit, inventory organizations, what is chart of account, cost center, balancing segment, natural account, multiple ledgers, and subledger accounting as a new engine in the release 12. So these, I know we haven't gone through the detailed discussion on each of the topic, but my idea was to just brief you that these are the key concepts when you are starting your career in Oracle Financials. So once you have gone through the basic concept of these elements as a part of financials, then it's very easy to implement, to configure in Oracle Financials as a part of Oracle General Module implementation. Thank you very much for listening and sparing your time. I'm not sure what are you doing. If you're driving, have a safe drive, and if you're jogging, keep doing it, because health is very important for you guys. And if you're doing some other activities as a part of your daily life, wish you good luck for that. And be part of Tech Talks. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to the O Tech Talks podcast, and be part of Tech Talks at otechtalks.tv. It's a turf to share ideas, insights, and innovations.